Yo, you're watching Shurkou, we're back with some more Pokemon Unite, and today I'm gonna make you real mad. And trust me guys, I am mad as well, looking at this tier list. What kind of garbage is this, man? You have like half the Pokemon in the very bottom tier. What does this even mean? It's a grayed out tier. We couldn't even give them colors? Really? All my favorites, my little Talonflame, my little Pikachu, my little Venusaur, Gardevoir, they're all trash or what? What does this mean, Shurkou? Well, we will solve all these questions because once again, Bocky, huge shout out to him, check him out on Twitter at Bocky_sub. He is from the GA team, they are one of the best Pokemon Unite teams right now, and he is one of the best players. I've seen some of his live streams. He is honestly always hard carrying that team as well. The rest of them are amazing, but he's just even better, man. He's a really good player. And he always drops these tier lists and stuff over on his Twitter, so make sure to check it out. Of course, he is Japanese, so this is all in Japanese. I ended up translating most of it, so I can tell you, I can break everything down for you, and hopefully at the end of this video, you won't be as mad as looking at it right now, especially if you're a Garchomp main or a Pikachu main, you know, Charizard main, looking at this, thinking, what is that? There's a full tier between. Hey, officer, illegal. There's a full tier between my favorites and these garbage picks. What is going on? Well, again, we will explain everything. But before we get into that, make sure to subscribe, guys. Ring the notification bell. I have like 70% of you that are watching these videos are not subscribed. So I would really appreciate it. It really helps, especially the algorithm out a lot. And it really doesn't do anything much for you because YouTube is straying away from this subscriber model where pretty much they just recommend you stuff that you're watching. So if you watch my videos, you will get it in your recommended all the time. And you won't be spammed more if you end up subscribing. It's just gonna boost the algorithm for the video because you are interacting, you're pressing buttons, and YouTube loves if you press those buttons. Anyway, guys. Moving on into the actual topic here. As you can see, crazy, wild tier list, man. And again, Bocky is very trustworthy. He was always right so far. I have covered his tier lists in the past, and honestly, I end up completely agreeing. Especially during the video, I end up agreeing more and more because I keep breaking down the things and keep thinking about it more in depth. And yeah, at the end of the day, I feel smarter after I break it down, and I feel like you guys get a little bit smarter as well. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the bottom tier. What does it even mean? It's grayed out. We don't even have colors. What is that, man? They have these nice green, yellow, orange, red, and here it's just gray. What does this Japanese font, these Japanese letters, what do they mean? Well, they mean unplayable. Completely useless, trash, garbage. Okay? So I know we're all getting mad. Why? Absol, Gardevoir, Machamp, Talonflame, man, everything. Just Pikachu, Venusaur as well. Everything is broken. And as you can see, this is up to date. So Blastoise is released and he's sitting at the tippity top, and that is the culprit. So Bocky is saying here, basically in his 2300 rating in Master Tier, the teams that he's playing against, they're all optimizing this game, okay? Everyone is abusing the most broken strategy, and the most broken thing in this game right now, and I think it's a bug, is Blastoise. With Rapid Spin and Water Spout, he specifically tells you to use this build. Because what you can do is, if you Rapid Spin, everybody knows you can hold down the R button to keep water spouting around you, and it just keeps shooting every enemy around you for huge AoE damage, right? But you lose out on all of your CC with not going Surf or Hydro Pump, so usually I wouldn't recommend this build. But I have figured out, or I have heard that many YouTubers made videos about this build where you can abuse, or again, I'm not sure if it's a bug, but I think it's a bug. Where you can use basic attacks while you're water spouting, okay? Now I'm gonna upload a video today as well in a couple of hours where I am actually playing this, and you will see how hilariously, disgustingly broken it is. And I'm not going to use it anymore. I encourage you guys to not use it either because it's honestly pretty cheated. I really hope it's going to get removed this week or next week. Oh, I hope this week, man. I'm praying because it's honestly breaking the meta. Now again, for those of you and for me as well, we are all playing solo queue. We don't have to be too worried. I see a lot of Blastoises going Surf, Hydro Pump. I see a lot of Blastoises going Rapid Spin, Hydro Pump. These builds are also very good. And a lot of the Blastoises that I see that go Rapid Spin and Water Spout, they don't actually know about this bug, okay? And for those of you who want to know how the bug works, please don't use it. But basically, you have to have the option enabled where you can choose if you want to target enemy Pokemon or wild Pokemon. So if you spam the A button, it's going to attack enemy Pokemon. If you spam the B button on your Joy-Con or or Pro Controller, you will be targeting wild Pokemon, okay? And then, if you don't have that option enabled, you can't use that bug. So as you can see, I think it's a bug because you have to spam the A button while you're holding down R, while you're holding down Water Spout to also be able to basic attack during it. If you use the B button, so the one that targets wild Pokemon, you will instantly cancel the Water Spout. So again, as you can see, it really seems like a bug, right? Why would it only work if you have that setting and if you're only targeting enemy Pokemon? Why doesn't it work in general, you know, with all the attacking buttons? So again, this seems bugged. This definitely will get removed. It is completely broken. It is single-handedly putting Blastoise to the SS tier, even above Wiggly. And Wiggly, let me tell you guys, is so broken as well. So completely insane. I would say Blastoise would still be at a pretty good S tier, maybe between A and S, if you didn't have that. But I would say still an S tier, you know, still a very amazing Pokemon. Has a little bit of a downside, you know, has that weak early game before it gets rolling with that Water Spout and Rapid Spin. But if you can get it there, it's going to be amazing. Bocky is also giving you the tip here in his text here that he posted along with his tier list, that you should run Blissey with Blastoise to have a little bit more of that early game, okay? That Chansey has that little slap ability, the pound, deals a lot of damage early game, can really help you secure those early game wild Pokemon when you're fighting in the lane. So definitely seems really, really good. And yeah, I don't know, man. Please, guys, don't abuse this bug. It's hilarious. Try it out once, maybe. But then afterwards, I think you've seen it, guys. Because I'm telling you, you will have 35% damage dealt. It's gonna be dirty, man. You're a defender, and you deal 35% damage every single game. You're unstoppable during the Water Spout as well. And that is single-handedly making all these Pokemon useless. So I will actually, instead of going down to S, A, B tier, we will go through this list first. Because I'm going to break down for every single one of these Pokemon why Blastoise makes them useless. So first of all, Absol. Honestly, Absol already consistently ranks in the lowest tier for all of tier lists, pretty much. Every YouTuber's tier list that I've checked out had Absol in a very low tier because Absol is just really difficult to pull off. First of all, it's difficult to play. Second of all, it has a very good early game if you are able to crit. If you have your scope lens at level 20, it is going to be pretty comfortable, you know, it's going to be pretty easy to crit in your first gank at level 5. And at that point, you really deal half of somebody's health and they're just dead, you know. You have an amazing early game. It's really annoying to play against Absol. But as soon as you reach late game, you know, everybody has that body barrier, everybody has that focus band. So the Absol could still kill somebody one shot if it wasn't for those items. But because everybody has those items, Absol cannot do anything in the late game. On top of that, the Unite move of Absol is just really, really weak late game. It doesn't deal a lot of damage. So yeah, Absol just not good for the Zapdos fight. Not a powerful Pokemon at all, unfortunately. And on top of that, Blastoise is a defender, so that is already tough for Absol. It is really good at killing squishy units, and because Blastoise is in every single game in these high rank games of Bocky, you won't be able to do anything, you know, because the Blastoise will also outdamage you with that Water Spout and basic attack bug. Moving on to Gardevoir. Now, for most of these, we can just package them in one little package here. Gardevoir, Cinderace, Pikachu, and the Venusaur, okay? They're all ranged characters that don't really have any means to escape, right? The Cinderace has his feint, the Pikachu has the, what's it called, the Volt Tackle, but again, other than that, they don't really have any means of escaping. So the Blastoise is just going to completely run you down. It is absolutely disgusting. It is ridiculous, okay? So you can't do anything. It's just going to pop the Water Spout, Rapid Spin. Gardevoir can't CC it. Volt Tackle of Pikachu can't CC it either. It can jump away a little bit, but it's quickly going to catch up to you, and it's just going to literally melt you in like 2 seconds, okay? You're just going to be gone. It's ridiculous. No counterplay for you. So all of these ranged characters are really, really difficult to play. We can also package Cramorant and Ninetales and also the Greninja into that. Greninja would usually be in an S tier. It is by far the best jungle Pokemon, but it moved all the way down to B because it can't play against Blastoise. In high rank, there's no bans, there's no, there's no unique picks or anything. Both teams are always going to have Wigglytuff, both teams are going to have a Blastoise, and both teams are not going to have fun, let me tell you that. I'm really glad I am playing solo queue because that would not be fun, I'm telling you. But yeah, moving on to the next one here in line, Machamp. Now, why is the top bar not going away? I'm actually a little bit triggered. Please go away, thank you. Machamp. So, Machamp has a lot of issues. You can pick it in the jungle. It is not that bad, but again, it is not squishy, not super squishy. But the strength of Machamp is it has very good CC, right? On the Unite move, it has very good CC with the submission. Again, Blastoise completely ignores that. Wigglytuff ignores the CC for her whole team with her Unite move. So Machamp, you know, the Unite move keeps going forward. If Wiggly pops her Unite move, you know, her whole team is going to stand still and you just move past them and half your damage is gone. It's just, it misses, it evaporates. So yeah, just very tough to pull off. Not a good pick. In general, it will probably be a B tier or a very low A tier, between B and A for a solo queue tier list. By the way, let me know if you guys want me to make a full solo queue tier list for you guys. I would definitely be down for that. But yeah, just can't do much. Now, moving on to Talonflame. Talonflame, very similar issue. If you're looking at these high S and SS tier units, they're all tanky. Talonflame is good at killing squishies, but Blastoise took all the squishies out of the meta, so what is the Talonflame going to do? It is just going to cry. Very unfortunate. I actually think with the recent buffs, and with Goal Getter buff especially, Talonflame with Score Shield and Goal Getter is a decent A tier. I'm going to upload a very nice gameplay, an absolutely perfect gameplay. I finally managed to make it work super well. It was actually a very impressive macro in a couple days, so that's going to be fun to check out. But yeah, for this, for this high rank gameplay, that is not going to work. That you just can't do much. They're not going to pick a Pikachu where you can one-shot it. They're not going to pick a, I don't know, they're not going to pick a Cramorant where you can one-shot. They're just going to pick that Water Spout stupid Blastoise and just going to completely out-damage you. You can't do anything. We already checked out Cinderace, Garchomp. Garchomp received a very nice buff on the recent patch, but it just wasn't enough. I was actually trying it out a little bit in quick matches because it was free to play last week on the free to play rotation, but it just wasn't good enough, guys. It just did not work well at all. So yeah, it just definitely needs, I feel like it needs a Dragon Rush buff. It just seems like such a difficult move to hit because it has a little bit of a wind-up time. Enemies can really easily react with a good eject to dodge it, or just even sidestep it most of the time. And for that, it just doesn't deal any damage. I know all his damage is from basic attacks, but I feel like you could double or even triple the Dragon Rush damage and it would still just be barely viable because you're still a Gibble for half the game. It's just really tough to make work. So that has nothing to do with Blastoise, it is just a trash Pokemon in general. I'm sorry for all of you Gardevoir mains. You have a redeeming quality. Your Unite move is really difficult to hit. So if you were able to make Gardevoir work, then you were good. You're amazing at Gardevoir. You're amazing at using the Unite move. I always miss it, but I have like 3 games. I'm sure if you have like 50 to 100 games, if you practice it a little bit, the Unite move can just tear apart teams. It's just really difficult to hit, so you have to be an expert. And then you can make it work, but still, I'm still not going to be happy having you in my team, because I'll have to lane with a Gibble, and it is just really annoying. It's completely useless early game. So again, you can kind of circumvent that if you go jungle, but still, not recommendable. Moving on to Gengar, this just got nerfed too much. It just wasn't even that strong to begin with, even while people thought it is S tier and broken. It honestly was only an A tier. You had a lot of counters, but people figured them out too late. You know, it got nerfed too fast for those counters to kick in first and lower that win rate. And now it is just not that strong. I would actually recommend Shadow Ball and Dream Eater. You can still have a lot of fun. It's still decent. It's still a decent jungler. But in the context of no bans, no not unique picks per team, you know, both teams, it's just a blind pick system right now. Both teams can have both the same jungler. Why would you pick it over Zera Aura or Greninja? There really is no point, unfortunately, so it just moves into the unplayable category. Pikachu Venusaur, we already explained. Venusaur, I quickly want to mention, I really think if there wasn't Blastoise, this would just be an S tier. This is just such a strong Pokemon. With Solar Beam, it deals the most damage from the safest place in the entire game. It always tops the damage charts, but if you have a ranged Pokemon that cannot escape, that is extremely squishy, and you have a rapid spinning, water spouting speed demon running you down, you just can't do anything. You just you will evaporate in literally 2 seconds. You're gone against the Blastoise, and you deal 0 damage to it because it's a defender. So yeah, similar honestly for Charmander. I mean, Charizard really received a nice buff. It is not that bad anymore. I would put it in a high B tier if I made a tier list for solo queue, or even a low A tier, medium A tier maybe, even if we're pushing it. The Unite move is very powerful. It can jungle very well. Yeah, to circumvent the bad early game. But man, again, like, you can pop your Unite move, you know? You can get CC'd. It's all cool and dandy. But have you ever seen out DPS something in a 1v1? Out DPS the Charizard in a 1v1 that uses Unite move. It does so much damage with the Flame Breath, you know, with the basic attack during the Unite move. Have you ever seen something out damage it in a 1v1? Well, you probably haven't seen Blastoise abusing the stupid bug, because that's what happens. That's how broken it is, okay? It's ridiculous, so unplayable. Moving on finally to the B, let's start it from the top again. We already explained the SS tier. Wigglytuff Blastoise, completely broken, man. You want Wigglytuff in every single game. It has the best CC in the game. It has Sing and Dazzling Gleam. I recommend Dazzling Gleam. Most people actually take Dazzling Gleam. You can sleep the enemies. You can guarantee this Dazzling Gleam hitting. And the Dazzling Gleam does so much damage, stuns you as well. And it has this stupid passive. That's the most annoying thing, Attract. It is so annoying because whenever you get near it and attack it, every couple seconds you just walk towards it for like half a second or something. And in total, it has like 3 seconds of CC. It is not fun to play against. It is so annoying. And on top of that, it renders all enemy CC useless with the Unite move. It also gives a huge shield to everybody on the team. Ridiculous. It also deals decent amount of damage with its slaps from the charged basic attack. So nothing not to love. If you want to abuse something that is legitimately not a bug, and that is honestly pretty fun to play, I think Wiggly is pretty fun to play at this point. Get it, cop it. But I think it's going to get nerfed. And again, usually we get Wednesday patches, so maybe tomorrow already. I hope, I'm praying. But yeah, moving on to the S tier. This is my go-to. Lucario is completely broken. I would put this at the very top, even above Wiggly, or just below Wiggly for solo queue. This is the single best damaging, not supporting, and not Blastoise solo queue Pokemon in the game. You have a lot of early game presence with your quick attack and your Meteor Punch, you can secure all the early game minions, you know, all the early game wild Pokemon in the lane. You can also heavily invade the enemy jungle. That's what a lot of people do. You're just really strong early game. You get that power-up punch. You completely one-shot any squishy in the game. Honestly, in this meta, I think Extreme Speed is even stronger. Once again, subscribe, ring the notification bell. We have a very fat Extreme Speed gameplay coming up. It's insane. I had my best outplay in my history of playing Pokemon Unite in the game, so it's gonna be fun to check out. But yeah, Lucario, I cannot recommend it enough. It's also really fun to play. After Greninja, the most fun Pokemon for me. With Extreme Speed, maybe even the most fun. But yeah, super strong. Doesn't really care about Blastoise too much, you know. It can escape. It is pretty tanky, you know. It's an all-rounder, so it's not gonna die too fast to it. And you're not going to kill the Blastoise, but you know, you're just going to kill the rest of the enemy team. So very, very potent Pokemon. Now we move to the A tier. Now something interesting I want to mention here, okay? Zera Aura moving above Greninja. Zera Aura was in an A tier last Bocky's tier list, and Greninja was in an S plus tier, so between S and SS, right below Wiggly. Why does this happen? Well, again, a Blastoise completely countered Greninja, but Zera Aura being a melee speedster with the Volt Tackle, with Volt Switch, it has a lot of mobility, it can really escape very easily from the Blastoise, and it has a lot of burst. So if you catch out the Blastoise without its Unite move, if it doesn't have the Unite move, if it can't use Unite move to get the shield and to get the body barrier shield as well, you will probably be able to kill it pretty quickly as a Zera Aura. So Zera Aura moved up. Also with the Score Shield meta, Zera Aura is really good at scoring with Score Shield and Volt Switch jumping in, scoring, jumping back out. These low scores that accumulate very quickly and make you oftentimes win the game in the end. So yeah, that is why we're seeing that, and this charge is still really insane, just deals a lot of damage. Zera Aura in a very good spot. Now, then we have the Ninetales. Why is this interesting? You might be thinking Ninetales is an S tier. Ninetales is honestly not that good. Bocky put Ninetales in a B tier, okay? In the previous tier list where everyone had it in an S tier. And now it gets countered by the Blastoise. So why did it even move up? I think it moved up because if you pick the Dazzling Gleam and Aurora Veil build, which is obviously the better one for Ninetales, you get a huge AoE damage reduction for your whole team with the Dazzling Gleam, with the Aurora Veil, excuse me. Pair that up with the Wigglytuff Shield from the Unite move, you will have a lot of synergy there. Now pair that up against a Blastoise that is completely demolishing your team in a huge AoE. You get to counteract it a little bit. You will still die, you will still be useless against the Blastoise because you're attacking someone who can't get CC'd, and that's the whole point. You keep freezing the enemies, right, with the Ninetales, so that's the whole point of this Pokemon. You drop the Aurora Veil, you throw these charged basic attacks with every single basic attack, and you keep freezing the enemies. But the Blastoise can't be frozen, so that is still not going to be fun, but you're going to help your team a lot. So I think that is how you can explain that. Then we have both supports in the same tier. Blissey a little bit below Eldegoss. Honestly, I think Blissey is insane. A very strong Pokemon. I would probably put this in S tier for solo queue. I would put Eldegoss also in an S tier, but below it. But the way I can explain it, even though Bocky says you should pair up Blastoise with a Blissey, I feel like, even though you sacrifice early game, you guys probably saw my previous upload, which was Blastoise with Eldegoss combo, and let me tell you, it's completely broken, okay? I call it the Tornado Spin, the Leaf Tornado Spin combo, okay? Because Eldegoss throws the Leaf Tornado where all of its teammates get sped up, okay? More move speed. So the Blastoise can just spin through that, boom, get a bunch of move speed, run all the enemies down, and you have an easy team fight victory. So yeah, that is how I can explain that Eldegoss is still in a very high tier despite being nerfed. I really think if you just want a healer, Blissey is always going to be the best. Heals way too much with that softball. Well, I shouldn't say way too much. I don't think it needs a nerf too much or anything. It could take a little slap on the wrist, but not really in need of a nerf. Again, only really the S tier units here need a big nerf. Everything else, like I think Greninja needs a nerf as soon as Blastoise gets removed, you know, as soon as that stupid bug gets removed. Lucario definitely needs a nerf. Wigglytuff needs a huge nerf. Everything else, you know, Snorlax, you could nerf it a little bit, but again, Snorlax only moved down so far because of these two being broken. You don't need... These two are basically two defenders you need on both teams every single game. You don't need Snorlax, you know? Now, let's move on to the B tier here. Again, Cramorant, we already explained, it just gets ran down. Why is it not in the useless tier? Because Cramorant is just really strong. Cramorant would be in an S tier usually. It's just really a strong Pokemon, at least in a high A tier, you know? If it was up to me in a solo queue tier list. But again, it just can't play the game against Blastoise. You will just get destroyed. Now, Crustle, only this low, I think. In a solo queue, it is probably S tier. It's so strong with that Fluffy Tail and Stealth Rock build. Just in terms of pure solo queue, where you have Clown Fiestas, where you can really steal the enemy jungle. These guys, again, are playing in a 5v5 setting. Smart teams versus smart teams with voice chat. They will not let the Crustle go crazy, okay? But if you're playing solo queue, you can absolutely go crazy and absolutely demolish solo carry entire teams. Mr. Mime here in a B tier. Mr. Mime pretty tanky here. Can do well against the Blastoise, but again, you can't damage it at all because you rely on your confusion stunning the enemy to deal a lot of damage, and that is just not going to happen against the Blastoise. Yeah, maybe you can use guard swap and destroy this Blastoise defenses to try to just burst it down quickly with your team, but it is going to be tough, okay? Still, Mr. Mime, I think, very underrated Pokemon. You can see, like, you would expect him to be in a useless tier, but no, sir. He's sitting comfortably in his B tier, in medium B tier as well. Snorlax, again, moved down because you don't need more tanks. You can't go 3 tanks. You could, but again, you're also running the Blissey most of the time, which is also very tanky, which makes one of your speedsters, if you're running the Zera Aura, if she drops the ult, the Unite move onto it, it makes it very tanky as well. It's going to be too much tankiness. Don't need that much. You need some damage, so the Snorlax just moved down a whole bunch. And yeah, Greninja, we already explained that. Would be an easy S tier, even S plus tier, usually if it wasn't for this stupidly broken Blastoise. And also the Smokescreen nerf actually hurt it a lot, which was good because Smokescreen was completely unfair. So it's good that it got nerfed as it did. I even see some people going for Double Team now, which seems to be a pretty decent choice. I even saw Peak run Double Team, at least for one of his videos. So it has some invincibility frames, so it can definitely be a good pick as well. But yeah, and moving on to the last one, Slowbro. Slowbro received nerfs, which it didn't deserve. You know, the Slowbro main's really in a tough spot right now. It's really not, like, it's much worse than all the other defenders, let's be real, right? On paper, right? It should be in a useless tier. It should be very low on paper, right? For a solo queue tier list, I would put it extremely low. If I'm gonna be honest right there, I would put it in a C tier, and C tier would be the lowest for me. So if I followed this SSSAB C tier system, so why is it here? Bocky says specifically that's the only counter to Blastoise. You should pick a Slowbro, which again moves all of these other defenders. Like, you're gonna have 3 defenders basically, because Wigglytuff is so tanky, it's basically a defender, even though it's categorized as a support. Yeah, the Slowbro is just the only counter, because the only thing that can actually do anything against a rapid spinning, water spouting, garbage inducing Blastoise is the Slowbro Unite move, because that goes through these CC immunities. That is just going to lock down the enemy no matter what happens. So if you target the enemy Blastoise with that Unite move, your whole team is going to be able to collapse onto it and shut it down quickly, one-shot it quickly, and then, you know, it's looking good, okay? You can win the team fight. But yeah, that is pretty much going to be it already. Again, make sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell. I pump out daily Pokemon Unite content. I pump out daily gameplays, daily guides as well sometimes, you know, for the new Pokemon, like that Blastoise guide that you guys seem to enjoy a lot. And we also stream every day. Most of you don't know that, but I stream every day on YouTube here on this channel, 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m., 7 p.m., something around that, you know, Central European summertime. So make sure to transform that into your time zone. And we also stream on Twitch if you prefer that. I do stream. You can check out my Twitch. It's just shurkou, just like my name here. And yeah, also please make sure to follow Bocky. He really deserves those follows, because on Twitter I'm pretty sure you don't really make money with these. Like there's no ads on your things, and he doesn't really post any sponsored tweets either. So he's just doing this for fun. He just loves the game. He plays it a lot. He practices it a lot. He's in one of the best teams. And honestly, the least we can all do is follow and like his content and stuff. And yeah, I'm not liking his content here because I'm on my streaming laptop where I'm not logged into Twitter. Don't worry, on my original account, I did that. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching this. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this helped you. Hope you aren't left too mad here, because again, these Pokemon unplayable in his rank, unplayable in his sweaty 5v5 games, which honestly don't seem too fun, you know. Seems kind of fun to experience once or twice, but after that I would get bored by the Blastoise. But yeah, for your solo queue games, don't worry guys, you can still make these work. And again, let me know in the comments below what you think about this tier list, what you think, whether I should make a solo queue tier list, if you want to see my opinion. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace!